Hi friends, it's Mari and I'm back with another project for the Not Too Shabby shop. Today I'm going to be using this really sweet Lawn Fawn Superstar stamp set and a few other things from my stash. I love this little stamp set. I think it's adorable and I just think the images and sentiments are so sweet. And I really wanted to do kind of like a little rainbow card today using a bunch of the stamps from this set. And I don't have the dies, so I did a little bit of fussy cutting, but I did use the Lawn Fawn Oliver alphabet dies as well, which I totally love. And I know that Jamie has had those in the shop. I'm not sure if they're in stock right now, but you can check. I will leave the links for everything down below. So I'm going to start off here with some inks just from my stash, and I'm going to start off with the largest star stamp in the stamp set on my block, and I'm just going to stamp out these larger stars in a rainbow pattern on my Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock, which I have trimmed out to the size of an A2 size card front right at the moment. I am going to cut this out with a die later, but this is how I started off. So I'm just going to put a piece of photocopy paper underneath because I might want to stamp off the edge, as you can see. And there I'm just going to go in with all the rainbow colors and get all of my stars stamped out. Then there's another stamp in the set that has a cluster of 3 small stars. So I've mounted that onto my clear block, and I'm just going to go ahead and go in with my rainbow colored inks and put those in between the larger stars so that I'm just almost kind of trying to create my own patterned paper with these stamps and a piece of white cardstock. Super easy technique, and a really easy way, like I said, to create your own effect of pattern paper. Now I'm taking the outline word star, and I'm also going to be stamping that in more of the white space. So I'm really trying to use up as much of the white space on the cardstock as I can, and just again going in with those rainbow colored inks and stamping out the word star in the white space that's still available. I'm going to turn the block every which way so that the word is going all different directions on the paper, just to make it look a little bit more interesting, just turning my block here and there to make that word fit in the white space. And I do stamp off the edge of the cardstock as well in places, just to make it look a little bit more interesting and make it look like it's actually a continuous piece of patterned paper. So just going in, going to finish that up here pretty quickly. Of course, I'm cleaning my stamp after each different ink so that I don't contaminate the different ink pads with the previous color. I've just, I think I'm either using a baby wipe or maybe the Lawn Fawn chamois, and just going ahead and making sure I've actually usually stamp off onto my copy paper as well before I re-ink, just to make sure I've got all the ink residue from the previous color off of there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the little sunglasses that's in the stamp set, the little face detail that you can add. This is so sweet, and of course it fits right into that largest star perfectly. So I'm going to take and add sunglasses to each one of my larger stars. Now this postage stamp die is from Sugar Pea Designs. I absolutely love this die. It actually comes in a couple different sizes in this die set. There's a larger postage stamp die and a smaller one. I'm using the smaller one in the set, and it's also stitched, which I love. It's got that stitch detail. I've cut that out, and now I've taken some foam adhesive. I'm going to adhere this card front onto an A2 size card base, and I've tied a little bit of Lawn Fawn variegated purple and blue twine down kind of the bottom lower third of the card. I've taken some black cardstock and I've put it into my mini MISTI, and I'm going to do some heat embossing. I'm going to get my clear ink stamped out here. And then I'm going to apply some white embossing powder, whatever you have in your stash. I'm using Brutus Monroe Alabaster, and I'm going to heat that up and melt that with my heat tool and have a really nice white and black crisp sentiment here. Obviously the ink is in and the embossing's in white on black. Trim that out, and I'm going to pop that up on some foam adhesive to be part of my sentiment for the front of my card, which is going to say "You're a star" or "You are a star." And I have cut out the word star from those the Lawn Fawn Oliver stitched alphas. That's from the most recent release from Lawn Fawn. Cut those out with some rainbow cardstock, and I've popped those up every second letter on foam adhesive. And stuck those down to create my sentiment. Now I wanted to color the little mouse that's part of the stamp set as well, so I stamp him out in some Memento Tuxedo black ink on my white cardstock. Just doing a really simple little Copic coloring here with W1, W3. I used some E01 for inside the ear and on the cheek for a little bit of pink. And you can just see I'm doing a really, really simple color here. I'm going to fussy cut this little guy out because I don't have the dies, but there actually is a die set to go along with this stamp set, which I'm not sure if Jamie has it in the shop. You can sure check it out and see if that is available. So I just, like I said, just went in, fussy cut my little mouse, and I'm going to actually then cut out this little star as well. I'm going to fussy cut this star once I get it all colored with some yellow Copic in Y13. Now I'm taking my craft knife. I'm going to just make a little tiny slit where the little mouse's hands come together, and I'm going to insert that little fussy cut star in there. And I've done some Nouveau Glaze work here. I've taken the Nouveau Glaze and added it to all of the little sunglass areas. I've also added it to the tiny little yellow star, and that finishes off my card. Thank you so much, guys, for stopping by my channel today. Please make sure you check the links below for all of the links over to the Not2Shabby shop. I love Jamie's store. She's got so much stuff and all of the latest and greatest. Thanks so much for stopping by. Bye-bye.